Welcome to Business Class. I'm Steve Ekstrom from Learn Tourism, a nonprofit academy dedicated to advancing the tourism industry through innovative training and sustainable practices. Our mission? To empower travel professionals and communities with the knowledge they need to create meaningful, authentic, and sustainable tourism experiences. Ready to join us on this journey? Visit learntourism.org and start making a difference today. I'm in Montana, and I had a couple meetings this morning, and then I had to run out and go and meet the folks from the destination that we're working with, where I'm
Yeah.
going to be now. And then I came back and I've had a meeting every half hour on the 15 and 45.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank God for the note takers.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do without them. So
Wendy Haase-Roberts, President and CEO of Travel Santa Ana. Travel Santa Ana is a relatively new DMO. I'm reaching my 5-year anniversary.
congrats.
Thanks.
What has been your favorite day at work so far?
Oh, to pick just one? I don't know if I could pick just one. I think one of my favorite things about my work is that we've brought together industry partners for collaborations and seeing those relationships blossom because we brought everyone together. Because there wasn't that connector before Travel Santa Ana. You had the Santa Ana Business Council, but that was pay to play and that focused on downtown. And you had the Downtown Santa Ana, which again was pay to play in downtown. But we're bringing those outside of downtown together and they're finding collaborations. And it's the zoo working with Discovery Cube and the Bowers Museum and the restaurant working with the Frida Cinema for a movie date night kind of thing. So we played a role in bringing those relationships together.
How did you find yourself working in a destination?
I started my career in destination marketing back in 1999, and I stumbled on it by accident. I was unhappy in my job, and a friend told me that Visit Milwaukee was hiring for a public relations manager, which was my background. And I blindly applied, not knowing what the DMO did. And I was hired, and that started my career in this industry that I now love.
What do you love most about it?
I think what I love most about it is the fact that while we all compete, we are also there to support, lend best practices, help one another. You don't find that, I don't think, in any other industry.
Who do you look up to as a role model in the industry, or who have you looked up to?
I look up to a few of my counterparts who also started in the PR world with me. Tanya from Albuquerque, Kristen, who's now to Chicago, Donna O'Daniels in North Shore. They've led their organizations and they're powerful women within the industry. Started in public relations.
What has been your most challenging day at work?
I think a lot of DMOs probably have the same challenges, is just getting people to understand what our role is and to appreciate our efforts. Sometimes I feel like the more they know, the less appreciative they are, or you give them X and now they want Y. So trying to balance that.
When you were growing up, what did you want to be as an adult?
What did I want to be when I was growing up? I actually wanted to be a police officer.
How is your job now like being a police officer?
I'm a rule follower. So I think being a rule follower and having that analytic look at things helps me be a solid leader and crossing all my T's and dotting all my I's, so to speak. I think that would be a good trait for both a police officer and the leadership role of a DMO. Also, just being in front of the community and engaging the community and being a advocate for that community.
Can you think of a time where the data suggested something different than you might have had in mind and what you did?
Actually, yes. There's been a few instances of that. Because when we started with Travel Santa Ana almost 5 years ago now, there was no data for Santa Ana. No one was keeping track of any kind of visitation. So we started out fresh and new, and some of that due to little glitches here and there, whether it was the way that the map was drawn and so forth, was some of the things we were trying to attract weren't measuring up. One example is California, because of privacy rules, we can no longer track anything that is in regards to an LGBT association or affiliation. And one of our major attractions is in the same building as the LGBT building. So we can't get any data for that attraction.
That's a challenge.
Yeah.
That is definitely a challenge. What is something that you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to I feel like this is the year that my team and I have been building a foundation and then trying things to see what was working and what was not. We were literally throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what stuck because we had no previous experience to go on for Travel Santa Ana. And now I'm looking forward to this year and next and building on what we've built and now showcasing it and doing great things. We're done with building the foundation. I think we've got an excellent foundation. We've got an excellent brand and now building on that. So I'm looking forward I'll be approaching my 5-year anniversary in the next couple months, and I'm looking forward to the next 5 years.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What advice would you have for your younger self?
Listen to yourself and just stay true to your path. I had a lot of diversions in my destination marketing organization career path. And there were times where it just felt like I wasn't going to be able to stay in this industry and I felt defeated. And so going back, I would just say, trust the journey and know that you're on the right path. This is where you belong.
How do you handle those types of situations when it just doesn't feel right?
You learn. I think for me, I have a lot of inner perspective and I've learned how I fit into the challenge and the role that I played to create that challenge and how I can better myself and handle myself if a similar challenge presents itself later. And that it's sometimes not in my control. And the only thing I can control is my reaction, my attitude. So I think I'm at a good place from a maturity standpoint after all these years to know myself better than I did 20 years ago.
And sometimes the only thing you can do is stand up and walk away from the table.
Yeah, whether it's professional or personal, I'm very loyal to a fault. And I don't know who exactly I'm loyal to, but I'm loyal and I also don't give up. So I almost have to be shoved out of a situation, so to speak, whether that's a relationship ending and being brokenhearted or having a career position end very similar to being broken up with.
You and I have that in common. And it sucks.
Yeah. I think in hindsight, I wish I would have had that ability to say, okay, you know what? This is a terrible situation. I'm seeing red flags. I'm going to walk away now before it gets catastrophic. But instead, I'm like, I'm going to make a difference. I'm different than the person before me. This isn't going to happen again. And I still head on into the red flags. Capsized, got the boat back up and took a different course.
In olden times, I would catch the bouquet of red flags.
It's like I'm unemployed and I'm interviewing for a job and the job I'm interviewing for has obvious red flags, but I'm like, I need a job. I can't pass up this opportunity. So I go in, seeing the red flags. Still, I need this job. I need to take it.
But you can learn from those situations too. We learn from our mentors.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And sometimes the mentors are the people who we don't want to be like.
Yes. I think I've learned more on how to be a leader from those that have, and I use air quotes, led me before. And that by that, how to be a good leader by having bad leaders.
Yeah. So one of those foundational things that you put in place was a certified Santa Ana Enthusiast Program.
We recognize our community is about 78% Hispanic, and it's a very prideful and passionate community. And so we started the Santa Ana Enthusiast Program primarily as a platform for our frontline staff at hotels to better understand the destination. It's actually threefold. There's a part that explains the importance of tourism to the local economy, a segment about Travel Santa Ana and how to work with us and what our efforts include, and then a segment on Santa Ana and what makes it different and special within Orange County and Southern California. And surprisingly, we have just over 300 participants now who've become official Santa Ana enthusiasts, and about 30% of those are residents.
Your completion rate is relatively high.
That's awesome.
What's something you've learned from the people that have taken your course?
I've learned that, so in reading their comments and their feedback, because we have the what can we do to make this course better? What would you recommend to a visitor? Those types of questions. One of the positive things I learned from their feedback about what they would recommend to visitors or what they love about Santa Ana is that our branding is on point, because everything that they talk about is exactly what our branding is. The community, the passion, the pride. People have literally said that in their what they love about the destination. It's reinforced our branding and given us a good positive feedback on that. And I've taken some good feedback away from it that I've implemented or changed along the course. One of the suggestions was it should be in Spanish. And it was like, duh. And that's when I reached out, and you can take it in Spanish. It just depends on your browser. So then I went back and I responded to that person to let them know that. So I think I've done a fairly good job at reading those comments and answering questions or taking their suggestions and implementing them into the program.
How important is it to you that you be able to make those changes when you need them?
It's very important. I love the fact that I can go in and make those changes and update. I just did an update to all of the data for 2025 because we had our tourism economic impact report for 2025 completed just last month. And so I went in and changed all of the tourism numbers very easily.
And one of the things I noticed that you have in your course, actually live versions of your website. So if
Yes.
somebody wants to learn about restaurants, or if you're trying to teach folks about restaurants, you're actually having them go to a real live version of your website to find the current listing of restaurants and then find something or match visitors up with that type of experience.
Yeah, that goes back to it being originally designed for frontline staff. Because this isn't Santa Ana exclusive, but you go into a hotel and they're focused totally on their four walls. And being in Orange County, our hoteliers tend to, if you were to go up to them, the majority of them would respond with Disneyland if you asked what there was to do. It is, and it's a wonderful attraction, but it's not necessarily for everyone. And you should probably want to engage with the hotel guests to find out what their interests are before you throw out Disneyland. So we wanted to make sure that our frontline hoteliers knew where to find information on travelsantana.com. We have an events calendar, which is one of our most popular pages on our website. We have an historic section that talks about the architecture. We have over 200 murals. We have a public art guide on our website.
If you weren't in Santa Ana and you were on vacation somewhere, where would you be?
Oh, that's a tough one too. My last vacation was in London. My stepdaughter was getting her master's degree in London, and my husband and I went out there last November. And surprisingly, it was our first time ever to London. And we did all things touristy, but our typical vacations are adventure. We've climbed Kilimanjaro in Africa. We've done some fun Ironman races. This year, we bought a house. So our anywhere vacation is
As a Home Depot.
yeah. But I think we're torn on our next destination. I'm thinking Poland because I have ancestry from there, but I've always wanted to go to Greece. So one of those two destinations.
Oh, doing both.
But I'd also love to just go to Ireland and drive along Ireland and go to the pubs and little towns and do all kinds of things Irish.
Before we dive back in, a quick word from our sponsor, Learn Tourism, the nonprofit academy, where we're dedicated to transforming the tourism industry with 4 key services: our cutting edge learning experience platform, which offers robust analytics and seamless updates, our custom course development, which ensures tailored learning solutions, subject matter experts who provide deep insights and valuable knowledge, and of course, our engaging speakers who are here to inspire and educate with impactful presentations. Discover how we can elevate your tourism education at learntourism.org. My sister and I took my mom and grandmother to Ireland
And
a few years ago. Great experience. In fact, Sarah from my office just got back from Ireland last week with her mom.
nice.
Yeah, it's a great place to visit.
I've had this tremendous opportunity to start Travel Santa Ana from literally the ground up. Having been in this industry for several years now, decades, and being given a brand new DMO that basically just had a name and an address, not even a brick mortar address. It was just a mailing address. And to be given that opportunity, it's very entrepreneurial to me. It feels very personal. And I think being a small DMO also, where there's only 3 of us, myself, my director of sales, Anna Laura, and my content and media engagement manager, Maria. And we have the smallest budget in Orange County at $1.6 million for our entire overall budget. And the things that we've accomplished, I'm very proud of. And at the same time, as the president and CEO, I don't have the liberty of only wearing that hat. It's a blessing and a curse, but I'm also still the major marketer. I still do updates to the website. I still write press releases. I don't have that deep team that a team of 40 or a team of even 7. So it's funny when people say, "Oh, I'm a small DMO. My budget's $2.5 million and we have 10 people." I'm like, that's small.
How do you achieve that efficiency with such a small team? What tools do you implement? What resources do you draw on?
We have to be careful because a lot of the things that our peers are doing, they do have the bigger resources, whether it's manpower or monetary. So if there's something we want to do, the first question is, how do we do that and manage it with our assets? And I of the sound mind that I would rather do 5 things really well versus 10 things half baked. So there's some things that we just can't do, but we do the best we can. And thankfully, we work really well together. We all have similar tendencies, but we also have different weaknesses and different strengths that we are able to leverage and work together really well as a fine, I don't want to sound cliche, but like a fine oiled machine. But that's also scary too. If something happens to one of the pieces in the fine oiled machine, we're kind of down for a little bit.
What would be 2 or 3 characteristics of the next person you'd want to bring onto your team?
They'd have to have the same work ethic. I think that's 3 of us because we're also in a unique situation where we were formed right after COVID. And so meeting with my board during the hiring process, they said one of your responsibilities is to find a brick and mortar for Travel Santa Ana. And at that time, I didn't know exactly how big our budget was going to be. I had a ballpark, obviously, but I also didn't know what our team looked like. Do I get an office that accommodates a board of 9 that meets quarterly? What does that look like? So I said, why would we spend money on overhead like that when we're just starting our funding? And so now 5 years later, we don't have a brick and mortar. The 3 of us work from home. And then once a week we get together and we meet at typically we meet at one of our hotels, which gives us great insight into the clientele. We get face-to-face one-on-one time with the hotel staff. Oftentimes they're telling us intel that they should have been sharing on a regular basis. Oh, we have a new banquet manager or we're renovating that ballroom, or we're doing this. And so that would have been great in an email, but hey, we're finding out now. So I think getting a fourth person would be, they would have to have that same drive where they can focus and work and get projects done without being, and knowing that I'm a phone call away or email or what have you, and having that communication, because that's key. And then also just having the being proactive. What I love about my team is that they recognize that they're responsible for a lot of things, and they're proactive in handling problems or handling a situation or taking care of details without having to come to me with that burden. And so having those two, it's also a little scary, and even thinking about hiring a fourth person just because of the dynamics and those characteristics, because we're in such a unique situation.
It's funny. I found myself, we've now got 5. And I'm like, I don't want to hire somebody because I have a job opening.
Yeah.
I want to hire somebody because they're the right person.
And that's how I hired my content and community engagement manager. Maria came to me about a week or so after I accepted the job and was employed by Travel Santa Ana, and introduced herself. She had lost her communications position with a city entity as a result of COVID, and she was doing some social media for the Downtown Association and the Business Council. And I saw her throughout that course of the year, saw her at our art walk and at city events, and her enthusiasm, her connections, her insight to the community she calls home were all so impressive to me that when I was looking to hire, I met with her and said, here's a job description based off of the strengths I believe you have and what I need. It's yours if you want it. And this was March, and I'm like, but I can't hire you till June. So it's yours if you want it. And I brought Anna Laura over from my previous DMO because I knew her work ethic and trusted her and worked well with her as director of sales.
Yeah, very similar over here. What makes Santa Ana so different than the rest of Orange County?
So I think a lot of people look at Orange County and they know Anaheim because of Disney, and they know the beaches, which are all fantastic. I encourage those who are coming to Orange County to get out and explore Santa Ana, because it really is very different. It's very ethnically diverse and culturally rich. We have over 200 murals. We have a monthly art walk. Our art focuses on artists of color and LGBT artists. We have a monthly art walk that it opens all the galleries free to the public, and there's vendors and performers, and it runs several city blocks. We have a lot of free cultural festivals throughout the year, whether it's Dia de los Muertos or Fiesta Patrias. You feel a sense of community and pride the minute you enter Santa Ana.
If folks want to plan a trip to Santa Ana, where should they start?
John Wayne Airport, address is Santa Ana. So you get out of John Wayne Airport, and it's pretty much within 2 miles of the majority of Santa Ana airports.
Fantastic. Anything you'd like to ask me?
Where would you go on a vacation?
I've been on a vacation for 4.5 years.
Oh, is that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life?
It's one of those situations. I love to learn. Whenever I see something that's interesting, I put a pin in my map and I just play a big game of connect the dots. And I learn about all of the things as I go along throughout the way. So that is my ideal vacation, is something that gives me a chance to learn, or it's a completely isolated retreat. Put me somewhere, whether it's in the desert or it's by the beach or it's in the mountains, where I can just disconnect and not have to anything. And that's a nice peaceful space for me. If they've got food, even better.
Pardon?
Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you. And I hope you have a delightful afternoon.
You too, Stephen. I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks for letting me chat with you.
Thanks for tuning in to Business Class. This episode was brought to you by Learn Tourism, the nonprofit academy where we advance the tourism industry with cutting-edge training and sustainable practices. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to visit learntourism.org to learn more about our programs and how you can get involved. Until next time, stay curious, continue learning and making a difference through tourism.